What is up, everybody, and welcome back to your favorite place to talk movies. I'm your host, Luce, and this is Real Talk, Off Script. Alright, so I'm back with another episode. I do have a review for you guys, so we're going to start that off at the top like I usually do. But I also have a couple of other topics that I'm going to get into as well. And as usual, I'll just go over those after we get done with our movie review. So today's movie review is for the Masters of the Universe movie, He-Man. I've been talking about this movie for a long time. I've been telling you guys about this movie for a long time. And I think I made you guys pretty clear that I was really excited to go see this one. So I went to see this one Thursday, so this is a super late review for me. I usually try to get them out either a day or at worst a day or two after I see the movie. But it's Sunday when I'm recording this now, so obviously this is a late review. I've been pretty busy the last couple of days, but I do want to get into how I feel about this movie. So I went there immediately, went to the theater that is, immediately after work. Like I literally clocked out, got in the car, zoomed off to work. I think my show time was at 5:20. I get off at 5. I got there maybe 5:23 or something like that. But this is not. I usually go to Cinemark, like I told you guys, and I'm gonna talk about that a little later in the episode as well. But I usually go to Cinemark. We have two in my city, at least two that I'm aware of. I didn't go to the one that I usually go to because the show times just didn't pan out with my schedule, unfortunately. So I had to go to a different one a little further. But I was in the office that day because I'm hybrid pretty much. So I was in the office, so this one was closer to the office for me, and I just immediately went there after work. So before I get into the review, I kind of want to walk you guys through this. So I get to the theater, I'm looking around, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm a couple of minutes late, but I know I got a 5:20 showtime, which should be prime time, opening day for a movie that you would think would be as big as Masters of the Universe would and should be. That wasn't the case. When I get there, it's a fucking ghost town. Like there's nobody there. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'm a couple of minutes late. Maybe everybody already got their snacks and everything, ran off and went got their seats, sat down. So I get my snacks, which I really just got some bunch of crunch. I didn't get popcorn, all that other shit. I just got a little bag of bunch of crunch and went on about my day, went on about my way. But I get to my theater, I think it was theater 9. So I turn the corner, I see the first row. Okay, so not the first row like for the screen, but the first real seats. Nobody care about the ones next to the screen. But I see the first row, I'm like, okay, it's a couple of people there. And it's dark as fuck in there. Like I know it's a theater and I'm there late, so the lights have kinda already dimmed down. But this was like unusually dark, even for a movie theater. But I get past the first row, I see okay, if there's 10 seats in this row, there's probably 7 people there. Okay, cool. Get to the second one. If there's 10 seats there, there's maybe 3 people there. I go up further and further and further, and I'm not seeing anybody. So I look up and kind of peek out because the way that the theater is, like the seats, there's like a wall behind the seats. So unless you're tall, you're not gonna be able to see over that wall unless you like getting your tippy toes. And I'm not a tall dude, so I get on my little tippy toes. As I said, I look up. I'm not seeing anybody in any of the rows going from all the way to the back up to where I was sitting. I think I was in row F, I want to say. But in my row alone, it was just me and 2 other people. So what I'm trying to say is nobody went to go see this movie opening day. I'm still waiting for the box office numbers to actually come through. I am seeing some rumors of how much the movie may have made on Friday or Saturday or opening day Thursday, but I'm just waiting to get a actual total for what the opening weekend was because I saw a lot of people on threads saying that their theater was essentially empty. Mine couldn't have had more than 20 people in there. Couldn't. If there were some ducked off in the back or something like that. It wasn't a lot of people going to see this movie. But I just wanted to paint a picture for you guys to kind of let you know how this movie may be doing, and I did give you guys my thoughts on this a couple of months back. I told you that I don't think personally that they did the best as far as marketing Masters of the Universe, and now it looks like, unfortunately, it's that looks like they won't be making a lot of money for this movie. Just based off of what I saw and what I've heard online and what I saw myself, I don't think this movie is gonna break the box office like a couple of other big name movies has this year. But that's my little story time to the side. Let's get into the actual review for this movie. So, as I said, I was really excited to see this movie. The first act, I will say, I was a little iffy on it. I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't getting into it, and I was thinking that maybe that marketing wasn't that good because it wasn't really much to show. But I will say, once the second and third act start, the movie really picks up pace. And when I say pace, I mean literally like now that you understand the story from the first act, now the setup, once you actually get to Eternia, which is where He-Man is from, of course. Once you get to Eternia, the movie takes off from there. Like it's really nothing slow about the movie from there on out. And to be completely honest, the first act isn't slow per se. It was just slow getting to the fucking point. I'll put it like that. It was slow to get to the point. Like, okay, we're here for Eternia, we here for He-Man, we here for Man at Arms, all the other characters, and we do get a opening scene where it kind of sets up everything else. But it's really maybe a good 10-15 minutes worth of Eternia when the movie starts. And honestly, it's probably being a little generous. I don't know. But let's just say 10-15 minutes. Like I said, you get a glimpse of Eternia and everything that's going on, the setup. You see Skeletor, Castle Grayskull, and all that good shit. You see that in the first 10 to 15 minutes. And then from there on, you're on Earth. So, yeah, I understood, the character, you have to set him up, and he's living like a mundane life. Nothing's crazy going on. He hates his job. He's more so essentially trying to, and I'm not getting into spoilers. You can kind of see this in the trailer. But he's more so, just trying to find a way to get back to where he knows he belongs, which is Eternia and all the characters that he kind of grew up with. That part, the Earth section of the movie, I understand. I understand when you're making a movie like this, you can't just have it all Eternia. You can't just do it just like the cartoon show was. You kind of got to add a little bit of, I guess, quote unquote, real life to it, which I even feel like in that is not needed. Like, if we're doing something as crazy as He-Man, just fucking put us on Eternia. Like, just rip the Band-Aid off. We don't need the Earth part, so we can kind of understand. We have movies like Star Wars. We didn't need to see a Toyota Corolla driving down there before we went over to any other Star Wars planets to make it make sense. So I don't think movies need to keep doing that. Let's just, if we're making another Transformers movie, just take me to I forget that, I can't even think of the name of the planet. Take me to Cybertron. Yeah, it's Cybertron. I'm tripping. Yeah, just take. I don't need to see Earth characters and Earth vehicles. Like, I understand with this Transformers. I leave my brain at the door. I'm fully immersed in everything Transformers Cybertron. But that was another little gripe. I just feel like the Earth part just wasn't needed. Like, I feel like everything flowed so good on Eternia that you kind of honestly completely forgot about the part where He-Man Adam was actually on Earth. Like, you completely forgot about it and it wasn't needed. Other than one character, which I'll bring up a little later. But that was one of my opening gripes with the movie. I feel like it took all the way to the second act for it to actually get to what I was looking for. But I did kind of allude to the first 10 to 15 minutes of the movie. There is a fight scene, and maybe the first 6-7 minutes, to be completely honest, no pun intended. But with Idris Elba's character, Man at Arms, who was one of my favorite He-Man characters when I was a little kid. But and this is to make a bigger point. But there's a fight scene where him and I think his name was like Lockjaw or something. I can't remember that character. I had the toy, but I just can't remember his name. I think his name was like Lockjaw or something. Let's just say that. Let's just say that's his name. But they got a one-on-one fight in like a hallway, and bro, when I say they was throwing them bows, bro, they was going at it. Like, I was like, okay, if this is what we can look forward to for the rest of the movie, as far as just the fight choreography, this is gonna be something good. And I will say that one of the best parts of this movie, one of the best aspects, I should say, of this movie, is just the fight scenes and the choreography itself. Like, every single fight scene, like, there's of course a fight scene between He-Man and Skeletor. And this is kind of like the final face-off with them. Like, of course, we know if Optimus Prime and Megatron are in the movie, they're going to have a standoff at the end of the movie. So I'm not really spoiling anything. But once they have that last one-on-one fight, when I say, bruh, He-Man was, oh my, he get up with that business. Like, I went home and I told my fiance, I'm like, hey, there's a scene in this movie where I don't think I ever seen the character get his ass whooped that bad in the movie. Like, I almost felt bad for Skeletor, how bad he got his ass beat that second time. Like, oh my God. Adam had some shit to get off his chest, and he did. He geez Louise. But yeah, I loved all the fight scenes. Skeletor for me was like a clear standout in the movie. Like, it's been a while since I feel like we got like a true like mustache twirling kind of villain in like a big budget movie. But I think Jared Leto, he did his big one with this. Like, he clearly is a standout of the movie. To be completely honest, like, if Skeletor got his own like movie just adjacent to He-Man, like he got his own shit, I would 100% go watch it just because he was that good of a character. Like, he was serious. I feel like he was serious when he needed to be, but he was like campy as hell when he needed to be, which kind of like it kind of evened it out. And I feel like that's a lot of the movie itself. Like, there's times where you clearly have to take this seriously. Like, there's parts in the story where certain things happen to certain characters, and it's not played for laughs. Like, they take it really seriously, and like you feel the emotion, you feel it. But then when it's time to get campy and kind of get back towards the old like feel of the cartoon show, they did really good with that as well. And I feel like Skeletor is like the perfect mixture of being crazy, like funny, like he was in the show with his little oh he man, like he had this whole crazy little tone of voice in the show, but they found a way to modernize it and kind of make him like they made it make sense in like today's like how we look at entertainment today, and I like that a lot. Another thing that I really liked about this movie was the costume design, like and the set designs too. I know some people were saying that the set design is sometimes a little lackluster, but I didn't get that. Maybe like the first 6 7 minutes. Once again, I'm don't put into it. Like the 7 or 8 minutes, I should say. There was maybe one set that I saw that I was like, it's a little iffy. Like you could have did that on any backlot in Hollywood, to be completely honest. But other than that, I feel like from top to bottom, the set design and the costume design, like it felt ripped straight from the cartoon. And I want to say like it's not a lot of movies that I feel like really embraced the soul of an IP when they bring it to live action. But this is definitely one of them. Like they literally rip these characters even down to the like. I was trust me. I grew up watching He-Man, so I was real scared. I was stroking my chin like, hold on, I'm waiting for the first fuck up as far as like a costume or something like that, and I did not see it. Like Mecha, I never thought I would see Mechanic on a big screen. He was like, bro, he was fire. He was fire. He was whooping ass too. He was fire. He-Man, of course. Skeletor's costume design was crazy as well. I always was wondering like what would he look like if they actually made a real movie. I think they did a really good job of his character too. Battle Cat looked really good. Oh, what is it? Is it Beastman? His when I say this, that's some of the best CGI I won't say that I ever seen, but like they made Beastman literally look like he was right the fuck there a couple of times. Like there's a scene and it's in the trailer as well where he's like kind of wreaking havoc on Earth. I guess trying to get to Adam. That was some really fucking good CGI that they put on Beastman. And out of all the characters in He-Man, why they chose to go that way with Beastman, I don't know, but they did. And he looked good, like really good. So I love the costume design, love the set design, love the choreography. Um, to be completely honest, I feel like the Masters of the Universe movie was essentially like, and I said this on Threads as well. It's essentially like watching the kids smash toys together, but in the best way imaginable. Like I definitely felt like they watched me play with these toys as a kid and just found a way to write a script around it. To be completely honest, and like I said, I'm putting that in the best way that I possibly can. Like I'm not saying that as a slight. And I know a lot of people were saying like the script was pretty thin, the story was thin, or whatever the case may be. The movie doesn't ask a lot of you, I'll say. And there is a message in this movie, and I also spoke about this as well. There is a message in the movie, and I don't think it's necessarily like a new take on anything, but the message is clear and the message is evident, especially just with me being a man. The movie is kind of like the overall message is you don't need to be a big burly muscular macho type of man to still be a real man. Like it's so many other things that play into that than you just being a strong protector. Like you could cry, you can show emotion, you can care about the little guy. You don't always just have to be, taking charge all the time. So that was the overall message of the movie, which I appreciated. But like I said, it's not necessarily like a fresh take on anything. So I guess I see people's, issues with that. But I feel like with what the show being what it was and the movie being what it is and that show being so old and they found a way to modernize it, I think it went hand in hand. I think they coupled it pretty good together, I'll say. One of the major gripes I will say, I'm sure y'all probably have heard. I know this is not y'all first review that y'all watch for Masters of the Universe. The comedy in this movie, left a lot to be desired. I'll say good 97% of the jokes just literally and it didn't work for me in any way, shape, or form. Did not work for me. I don't think I laughed literally one time until like halfway through the third act. So not halfway through the movie, halfway through the third act, which is the end of the movie. I don't think I started laughing until then. Like, and that's when the jokes for me really picked up. Like, there was a couple of good ones. Like, I never expected to have or see like a fisting joke or a giving head joke. Like, I'm not shitting y'all. Like, they literally have a couple of jokes about fisting. Actually, if you know what that is. And giving head as well. Like I didn't think there was gonna be any jokes like that in the movie, but hey, here we are. But yeah, the jokes they didn't work for me. I could see why other people may have thought a lot of that was funny, but for me it It's a little sophomoric for me. Like it just didn't really do it for me. And another gripe I'll say as well, moving on from the jokes, I feel like the music, like the score of this movie, just was not memorable for me. And I saw so many people online saying how much they loved the music, and that was one of their favorite parts of the movie. I was like, I know I accidentally walked in there with a headphone in, but I think I heard all the music from that movie, and it didn't do anything for me. Like I could not remember the main score of that movie. I just couldn't. Maybe when he makes his first transformation into He-Man, like that music I kind of remember it. But even then, it wasn't memorable. I'll say, like I feel like if we do get a sequel, hopefully we do. Like I said, it ain't look like a lot of people went to go see this, but hopefully, if there is a sequel made, I just wish they'd get a better composer. I just wasn't impressed by the movie at all. But just to leave off on this review, I'll say though this movie is not as good, so don't quote me. Though this movie is not as good as Transformers from 2007, I still got that feel. Like as far as like we got a taste of these characters, we saw the villains, we saw the environments that they live in on Eternia and all that shit. We saw all that in this movie. But for me, I left the theater just wanting more. Not in a bad way. Like I can't wait. Hopefully, if we get the sequel, that is, I can't wait to go back to Eternia and see them just explore more of that. I just want to see more of He-Man and the crew, to be completely honest. And I feel like that's the best way for a movie to leave you. Like, yeah, you want more, but not feeling like you needed more. You just can't wait to go back. Kind of like how I said with the Backrooms. Like, I didn't feel like I needed more, but I do want more just because I enjoyed the movie that much. So I know I usually try to let you guys know what my overall thought is for the movie, like whether I would suggest it or not. I try to do that earlier on in review, but obviously we are at the end of the review, so I'll let you guys know now. I would suggest this one, so I will give this a loose approves. I guess that's just my, I guess that's the scale that I'm putting my movie reviews on. So yes, I'll give this one a loose approves. But I will say, I don't think you need to rush out to see this one, especially with so many movies that are coming out in the next couple of weeks that I kind of gave you guys an idea of in the last episode. It's a lot of movies coming out soon. I would say go see this before it's out of the theaters, but you don't have to rush out and go see it. So that's essentially how I feel about the Masters of the Universe. But with my review down, I am curious about what you guys think. Did you guys go see it? Because like I said, there wasn't a lot of people in my theater, and I did see people online saying that was the same thing for them as well when they went to go see it. So I am very curious to see if you guys are actually interested in this at all, or if you're just listening to my review and I hopefully made you a little more interested in it, if you'll go check it out a little bit later. But yeah, like I said, if you guys don't have any thoughts about Masters of the Universe, go out in the comments, let me know, and we'll go from there. So with my review for Masters of the Universe out of the way, I do got a couple of more topics that I do want to get into. So we're going to get into one of those now. So over this past week, and I don't know if it's still going on or not. It may be over, but South by Southwest London started last week, and I know you guys probably, obviously this is about the MCU and Marvel and Doomsday. So I don't know how, I don't know if you guys are chronically online like I am, but we thought that we were getting a trailer, and the topic isn't about this, but I'm just kind of leading you guys down the road. We all thought we were getting a Doomsday trailer or some kind of Doomsday reveal from South by Southwest. It turned out to be a fucking coffee shop. A Doctor Doom, I guess Latvian inspired style of a coffee shop. And to my knowledge, I haven't seen anything since. I don't think there was anything else other than that. The big reveal and you guys want to make sure that you're online at, I think it was like I think it was 9 o'clock my time, which is I think like maybe 2 London time or something like that. I think that's what it was. But you guys want to go be online. I saw people doing live streams on YouTube. I was literally listening into a live stream on YouTube, like waiting for 9 to get here because I thought that there'd be some kind of reveal, some kind of something. Man, we ain't getting nothing but a goddamn coffee shop reveal. That's all it was. And people even went as far as to, maybe we should break down the different drinks from the coffee shop. Maybe there's Easter. I'm like, bro, just give it up, bro. We're not getting this trailer no time soon like we thought we were. Obviously, we'll probably maybe get it at Comic-Con. I think it's next month. I think it's in July. Well, maybe we'll get it then. But until then, I just don't give a fuck about the trailer no more until we get to Comic-Con. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. There was some other news that dropped at South by Southwest that I found kind of interesting. I haven't seen a lot of people talk about it yet. So I felt like this is probably good for me to talk about on my pod. But anyway, the directors of Doomsday, who are the directors of the last 2 Avengers movies as well. I know some people like to call Captain America Civil War an Avengers movie. Sometimes I do. It depends on what mood I'm in. But they were the directors of that as well, and they did Winter Soldier. So essentially, some of the best movies that Marvel has put out, the Russo brothers, Joe and Anthony Russo, are the directors of those, and they are also the directors of Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars that we're getting next year. But it looks like I don't know if it was a part of a panel because I only saw the quote. So I don't know if this is a panel or it's just like an interview. I don't really know. But they did have an interesting quote that I felt like we should probably talk about and kind of break down and see what they really meant. But they were essentially talking about Doomsday, and I'll read the quote out for you guys. So they said that we were. This is the quote. We were with Rob, which is Robert Downey Jr. Earlier today, we were talking about this concept that we're back to phase zero. This is starting over from scratch. We want to make sure everybody feels like this isn't leaning on anything from the past. I read that for you one more time. So they said that we were sitting with Robert Downey Jr. earlier today. We were talking about this concept that we're back to phase zero. I'm sorry. This is starting over from scratch. We want to make sure everybody feels like this isn't leaning on anything from the past. So I don't know if they expounded on that because the article that I read, the quote literally just ends there. So I don't know if they kind of gave us any more to kind of go off of. But with my thinking, with them saying this is phase zero, because I don't, if you guys don't know or not, the way that they kind of broke down the Marvel films in the past, they were in phases. So, for example, phase one was Iron Man, and I hope I get this right, was Iron Man 1 and 2, The Incredible Hulk, Thor, Captain America, the First Avenger, the literal first Avengers movie, and I want to say, was Guardians of the Galaxy? Oh, I think the last one in that phase is Iron Man 3. I may be wrong about the Iron Man 3 part, but I know the other ones for sure I'm correct about. So it was Iron Man 1, 2, Incredible Hulk, Thor, Captain America, the First Avenger, and then the literal first Avengers movie. That pretty much made up the first phase of the Marvel movies. Then you got into phase 2, 3, 4, and I believe we're in 5 now, and that's kind of how they broke it up and chopped it up so you can kind of know which era of the Marvel Cinematic Universe that you were in. I don't think that really worked for a lot of Marvel fans as far as how they kind of recollect everything. I don't know. I know that worked for me. I can't speak for everybody else. But with them essentially saying, in concept we're back to phase zero. From the sounds of it, it sounds like this is going to be a fresh start. So that's why I feel like we should probably talk about this and kind of break down what the fuck does that even mean? Like, is this going to be a reboot, recasting, like what are we looking at? So essentially, what I'm curious about with this being a fresh start, at least from what it seems like, I don't think they said that, but to me it sounds like a completely fresh start for the movies. I'm wondering, like, I know there's a lot of, actors and, specific roles in the MCU that are, to be completely honest, they're getting up there in age. Like, I don't know how old, is it Jeremy Renner? I don't know how old he is as far as the Hawkeye's actor. Like, how old is he? Are we going to continue to get him in Marvel movies? Are they going to recast? Like, if you really think about it, well, the Scarlett Johansson, which I know she's supposedly dead, but they've brought back people before, so until I see Doomsday and Secret Wars, I'm going to say there's a chance she may come back. So you got Scarlett Johansson. We clearly got Robert Downey Jr. He's not a young guy. We got Chris Evans. He's not a young guy. We got Mark Ruffalo, who plays the Hulk. He's not a young. Like, I can go down the list of all the people that are playing these roles and have been playing their roles for damn near a decade. Some of them maybe even a decade and longer. I'm wondering if when they say this is going to be a fresh start, or like I said, they didn't say that specifically. When they say this is going to be a phase zero thing, like they're going to just, this is going to be a lot of new things that we're expecting. I'm wondering if they're just trying to get some, fresh meat in there, some new faces that we don't really know these actors as far as like they're still starting their careers, but are they going to take over the roles of, is there going to be a new Iron Man? Is there going to be a new Captain America? Is there going to be a new Hulk? Is it going to be, because like I feel like that's where my brain went immediately when they say this is back to phase zero. It's either, to me, they're going to do a lot of recasting once these two Avengers movies are over. It's either that or they're just going to, like, everything, they're going to essentially retcon everything that happened in the MCU. So I'm wondering, like, all the storylines that we saw and grew to love over the last couple of years, are they just going to erase that? Are they kind of going to still know that those existed, but these are recap? Like, I don't know what we're doing. And when you bring in the idea of variants, there's literally endless possibilities. Like, you could say, for instance, I don't think they're going to do this, but this is something that you could do. You could say that everything that happened with Mark Ruffalo's Hulk character was just that. Like that existed, and then you have the first Incredible Hulk movie with Edward Norton. You could say that that was completely separate, but we mashed them together. It's the same universe. But now, with how everything is finna get with as far as incursions and everything, you can say that that still happened. But now we're getting the Hulk from another universe because of the incursion, and his storylines are still there, but it's a new face. I don't know. That sounds confusing, but that's something you could easily do. Kind of like, Chadwick Boseman. He passed away, so we didn't get to see him in any more of the Black Panther movies. We literally saw him in one Black Panther movie, two Avengers movies, and we never got a taste of him again. So I don't know if they're gonna say like this is if they recast him, which I feel like they will. Is this the same T'Challa that we know and love, just from another universe, like a younger version, or is this a completely different? Like that's what I'm trying to figure out. And I to be completely honest, and I know I'm rambling, but to be completely honest, I always felt like that's something that they would do, because I feel like there were obviously they have. I don't even know how many movies we're at now as far as all the movies and shows that are in the MCU. Um, there's so many different storylines that kind of didn't work for people, and it's not a lot that didn't work for me, I'll say, but I feel like there's a lot of them that people just didn't really gravitate towards. So I always felt like there's gonna be some form of retconning with these Avengers movies. But if they're saying we're starting at Phase Zero, me personally, I don't think there's no way in hell they gonna bring back all the cast members that have been in MCU movies like so far and move forward with them. I think they're gonna do a lot of recasting. I think a lot of people are gonna die. I think a lot of characters that we know and love, they're gonna die, but they're gonna find a way to kind of make it so yeah, they died. Essentially, like Mark Ruffalo, yeah, he's dead. His Hulk is dead, but we got a new Hulk. I feel like they're gonna do a lot of shit like that, and I do think there's gonna be some fan favorites. Like I personally feel like Chris Evans. I feel like if they were to pick a couple of different people that we know and love and move forward with them, I feel like Chris Evans would probably be one of them. Me personally, just based off of everything that he said recently, as far as like how much he enjoys playing the character, and obviously he's had a little break. We haven't seen him in technically we saw him in I can't spoil. Well, no, that movie's been out long enough. Fucking, I'm gonna spoil it. Chris Evans is in Deadpool and Wolverine. He's just not playing Captain America. So other than that, we have not seen him in the MCU since 19? It's 2026 now. So we had a little break. I could see him maybe wanting to get back into it, or get reintroduced to the Captain America character, or maybe he's just playing Old Man Cap, who kind of ran Shield, and I think was it Shield and Sword. He ran one of them essentially. Like he was like a government kind of guy, but he was just old dude. Like we saw him at in Endgame. So I don't know if they're gonna do something like that, because he's clearly said that he loves making the Marvel movies and he wants to continue to do them. So I feel like they are gonna pick a couple of people that we do like and love and move them forward with all the new stuff, like when they introduce X-Men and all that good shit. But to be completely honest, like if you're if you're tied to a lot of these old characters, like I would say you probably not getting them past Doomsday and Secret Wars. Like that's probably the last couple of times you're gonna see them in the iterations that they exist in now. I think it's gonna be way different, and I feel like that's kind of what the Russo brothers were kind of hinting at. I personally think it's gonna be a lot of recasting. Like I said, a lot of retcons, a lot of new storylines. But what I'm more so curious about, and I've spoken about this before. I told you guys about this before. Doomsday sounds like it's gonna be reminiscent of a storyline in the comics called Time Runs Out, and that's essentially, well, I don't want to spoil it. I keep getting real close to spoiling this shit, but it's essentially like kind of like a big reset in the comics, to be completely honest. And I feel like Doomsday is probably gonna steer really close to that. Which is low-key what I'm hoping for, because I really like that storyline. I think it's really interesting. But yeah, even in that, it's like a major reset for a lot of the characters in the comics at that time. And this is, I believe, 2015 when that storyline was running, 2014 or 2015. And I think this movie is really inspired by that. No shit, moving into Secret Wars, because in the comics, Time Runs Out leads directly into the new version of Secret Wars that came out in 2015. And I think Avengers Doomsday that we're getting this year is going to do the same thing, moving into Avengers Secret Wars next year. So, like I said, I haven't seen a lot of people talk about that quote, but I thought that was very interesting that they said that. And I already had sneaky suspicions that was going to be something very close to what we're going to get as far as like a big reset. I wouldn't say reboot, because I do think they're going to pick a couple of characters and a couple of actors that they for sure want to keep moving forward with, like maybe like Fantastic Four. We only saw them literally one time so far, so there's no way that they're going to recast them. I don't think that's going to happen. But everything else, I think maybe on the table, other than maybe Chris Evans, like I said. But and that's only because he specifically spoke on it. And essentially said he wants to keep doing them, and that's the only reason why I'm saying him. But everybody else, I think everything is on the table for it to be completely reset and refreshed moving forward. But that's enough about how I feel about it. I want to know if did you guys hear this quote and did you guys take away the same thing that I got from it, or did you get something completely different? Go down in the comments and let me know, because I would 100% love to have a conversation about that. But so moving on from the MCU and moving on from that topic, I do have one more topic that I want to talk about, and it should be a quick one, but I don't know. I get to rambling on here sometimes, and we can talk 15 minutes about some shit. But there was something that happened this past week, something pretty big as far as movie releases. Well, I don't want to say movie release because this movie isn't out yet, but something did release, and that is the tickets for the Odyssey. Now, mind you, this is not all the tickets for the Odyssey, but we all know that they did go on sale for IMAX. I think it was like last August last year. They went on sale for IMAX this year. But essentially they went back on sale again, but only for premium large format screenings again. Kind of like I just said. So, and that's a PLF for some of y'all who may have heard that before. PLF essentially stands for premium large format. That's your IMAX screens, if you're a Cinemark guy like me, your XD screens. I want to say Dolby Cinema is a PLF as well. I have to look that up. I'm pretty sure they are though. So yeah, so essentially the tickets went on sale for IMAX, Dolby, and all the other good shit a couple of days ago, and people completely, at least from the sounds of it, because like I've told you guys before, I'm gonna go on a little tangent real quick, but I've told you guys about this before. In my city, in my town, we have IMAX screens here. But I'm putting the biggest, you guys can't see me, but I'm putting the biggest fucking air quote around IMAX screens. Because like our IMAX screens here, you might as well just say we don't have them. They're pretty shitty. So I never really utilize them. I don't really go see them. The last movie I saw on an IMAX screen in my city was, it wasn't Jurassic World. It was Spider-Man No Way Home. That's the last one I saw. And that was a horrible, like if we're talking from a cinema experience, a theater experience, fucking horrible. Wouldn't suggest it. So I don't really even go for IMAX screenings here, to be completely honest. So once I heard that they released tickets, but it was only for PLF, premium large format, like I said, I was like, okay, I'll get around to getting a ticket when the full tickets drop, to be honest. I'm not worried about it. But I didn't know all the crazy shit going on online. I don't know what I don't know, obviously. I didn't try to get a ticket, so I didn't know that AMC's website and Fandango's website was completely crashing. So this is all new information for me, honestly. Because like I said, if they released like the full tickets for all the different screenings in every format that you can possibly buy them in, of course I would have been there and I would have dealt with it as well. But with me not giving a fuck about IMAX, because I don't really have any good ones in my city, nor do I have anything really close to me, I didn't even know this was going on. So people were saying like I went online to go get my Odyssey tickets, and I'm in a hour, like I'm waiting an hour in line. I'm like, for movie tickets, like what? What's going on? Like usually I've seen that. I'm a big sneaker guy, so like buying sneakers or something online, like that's what you're used to. Like you're gonna go get your size, get the shoe you want, get whatever colorway that you want, and be prepared to sit your ass in line for a little bit. That's just how it is. It's just how it works for certain things. I've never really seen this continuously happen for movies, because this is not the first time, and I am worried about other big, like what's gonna happen when Doomsday tickets come out. I know we just talked about it. So what's going to happen when the Doomsday tickets drop? Are we going to have to expect the same thing? Would this problem be fixed by then? I don't know, but I know this is not the first time that this has happened. And honestly, ironically, the last time that I did try to get movie tickets for something like this and I experienced this was actually for Spider-Man No Way Home. The same thing happened. AMC crashed. Fandango crashed. I believe even at that time, Cinemark crashed. So I had to fight to get my tickets in. I had to get 2 tickets in. I had to fight over those as well. But my thing is with, tickets coming out for this in the premium large format screens last year, same thing happened. And now a year later, they dropped again and the same thing happened again. So what I was thinking is the hype for this has to be bigger than what we think it is. Because that was just for, like I keep saying, that was only for PLF. That's not for the 2:00 screening on a Sunday in like the most normal format. That wasn't even for that. So how is this going to go when the real tickets drop, to be completely honest? And with a movie like the Odyssey, which I have never said I think is going to be top 3 biggest movie of the year. I still don't think it is. It's going to be up there, but not top 3. I think top 3 is for sure going to be Toy Story 5, Doomsday, and Spider-Man Brand New Day for sure. That's gonna be top three. But my thing is like we haven't really gotten to the big like behemoth big movies. We've gotten some big movies so far, but like the real big boys, we ain't seen it yet. So I'm wondering like with the whole internet crashing and people trying to buy tickets for this, how crazy is it going to be in a couple of weeks when the Spider-Man tickets going to sell? Because I literally think that might be it's going to be top two. I feel like it's going to be top two as far as box office this year. I don't know which one is going to be, but it's for me. If I had to guess, it is going to be Spider-Man Brand New Day and Doomsday duking it out for the top two spots of box office earners this year. So if the fucking Odyssey is doing this, I can only imagine how crazy Spider-Man tickets are going to be coming up in a couple of weeks. Because before you know it, Spider-Man will be here. It's literally next month. But I another thing that I found interesting is I don't like I said I don't go to AMC. Unfortunately for me, I would if it was up to me, I'd be an AMC guy because I'm trying to get part of that little A-list business. That A-list thing sound crazy. Like you get crazy deals on A-list. But unfortunately for me, I don't really have good AMCs here in my city. All the best theaters that we have in my city that I live in is all Cinemark. Like those are the best ones to go to. The two AMCs we have that I know of, unless there's another one that I don't know about, one of them is in a real shitty part of town. Like I don't want to go there to see some of the biggest movies of the year. I don't. Like if I have to, I'll go there, but I won't. And then the other one is just too far, so I'm not going there that one either. And it's just not the best. They're both really really old theaters, so I'm not really an AMC guy, unfortunately. If I was in another city, I would be though. But my thing is, I was wondering, and a lot of people said this as well. Like if I'm just trying to go see Masters of the Universe, for instance, if their website is down, which is AMC, how am I gonna get my ticket for this? Like I'm wondering. Like I found it interesting because I'm like, just from a business standpoint, you want to make sure if anybody has to wait for anything or if anything does crash for somebody, it'd be just for this showing that is not out right now. I don't know how much money they potentially could have lost from people saying, "Well, I'm not waiting in line an hour to try to get my ticket for this. I'll just go see this some other time or something like that." And how many people left the site? I didn't see anybody talking about that either, which is what my brain. That's the first thing my brain went to. Like, how much money could you potentially lose making people wait in line for an hour, not just for the Odyssey, but also just to use your website, just to frequent your website? I thought that was crazy, and I think that's something that AMC definitely needs to fix. I don't know if that's something that really hit their pockets too big, but I imagine if it did, that's not going to be something that we should expect moving forward. But once again, like I said, this happened last year as well. So I don't know if this is going to be a pattern. I don't know if this is something we should expect. But we are getting a lot of really, really big releases moving forward throughout the year. And I wouldn't want to go. And like I said, I don't use AMC. So this is not something that I have to deal with. But if I was an AMC frequenter, I don't really know, somebody that, a customer, however you want to call it, or if I was just a part of A-list, I don't want to have to deal with this shit every time a big movie comes out. Like, what if I just want to go see Backrooms again, and I can't because I got to wait an hour in line because people are buying Odyssey tickets? Like, I just think that's insane to me. That's really insane. But like I said, luckily for me, I don't have to deal with that. I don't go to AMC. But another thing I will add on as well, I did tell you guys that, PLF, once again, premium large format screenings and the biggest screens that you could probably think of. Those all fall under that moniker, under that umbrella. But one of those is Cinemark's XD. I don't know if Screen X counts as PLF. I would imagine it does. I don't know for sure. But I don't know if Screen X counts as that. But I actually went on the Cinemark website after I heard what the big hoopla was about tickets. And I went to first showtimes of the Odyssey when they actually come out. And for me, they have XD. Like I said, Cinemark's XD is their premium large format that they have. I didn't see, there was a lot of seats available, like a lot of them. And that's not this. I'm not saying anything about like box office. I'm just saying like if you were trying to go see this movie in Cinemark, I don't think you would have had those same problems. So I don't know if this is just and I know AMC is obviously the biggest name when it comes to theaters. Cinemark isn't as big as AMC, so I would imagine that their servers work just fine. I would imagine people didn't hit any roadblocks, but I also imagine that a lot of people just didn't buy Cinemark tickets. They wanted to go over to AMC, and that's where the problem really lies. So like I said, I went over to Cinemark, got my tickets just fine. I got 2 tickets sitting right by the aisle because that's usually where I like to sit for opening day. So I didn't have any problems at all, but I just really feel for everybody who wanted to get them day one. I don't know if people were missing out on them. I've heard crazy rumors as far as like ticket scalpers or people reselling tickets. Like I I don't know how true any of that is, and I ain't got shit to do with me. I'm not an AMC guy. I got my tickets, so I can't really. I'm sorry for y'all that didn't, but I got mine, so I don't really know. So yeah, that's that. I thought that was just a crazy thing that happened. Like, but I feel like that's a good thing because obviously that means that people are interested in going back to the theaters, which is good for me. Like, I understand that some of y'all may have missed out on tickets or you got to see it in IMAX a week later. Like, I do feel for y'all, like I keep saying, but I still feel like it's a healthy sacrifice. I'll say, like, yeah, you probably couldn't get your ticket, but that means somebody else did, which means somebody y'all both wanted to go see it. And to me, I take that as a positive. Like, we've been coming off of a couple of years, of course, due to the pandemic that we went through, and people wasn't going to the movies as much as they used to. But I didn't make that episode that you guys and I do have a lot of subscribers. Thank y'all as well. I do have a lot of subscribers. If y'all want to go back to one of my older episodes where I talked about why I thought that 2026 is going to be, if not the biggest year box office wise of all time, it would probably be second or third. I didn't make that episode just for shits and giggles. Like, I actually genuinely believe that it is a possibility just based off how much people are actually going back to the movies these days and just how many major movies we have this year alone. In 2027, obviously next year I'll do that episode as well talking about 2027 because I think 2027 could rival 2026 because there is a shit ton of big movies next year as well. But I just feel like people are just getting more excited to get back into the theater, obviously, because if AMC and Fandango is crashing for the Odyssey, which, like I keep saying, I know it's going to be a big movie, it's not going to be nowhere near as big as Spider-Man, Doomsday, or maybe even Dune 3 might be. So we still got a lot more Mike Tyson level heavy, George Foreman level heavy hitters to go. Like, there's a lot of more movies to come out this year, and I'm excited, and obviously everybody else is getting excited as well, and I just love that for cinema. Like, I love movies, but I love the theater experience just as much as I actually love movies themselves. And I'm so glad and so happy to see that people are falling back in love with the theater as well. And this is just one obvious indication of that with Fandango and AMC just completely crashing. And you got to wait in line about fucking movie tickets. That's insane, but I do love it. It's like I said, it's a healthy sacrifice to get people back in the theaters and having fun and enjoying movies again. I love it. I can't explain to you guys how much I love to see it. But, like I said, with that down as well, let me know. Did you get your tickets? Because I got mine. Did you get your tickets? Were you one of the people that had to wait in line for an hour or an hour plus for Fandango and AMC? And if you did, how mad are you? And did you eventually get your tickets? Because like I keep saying, I got my shit. So I'll be there. But that's my last topic of the day. Like I said, I thank you to all the new subscribers that I got. I was stuck at 26 for a while, and I think I'm at 41 now. So I take every subscriber as a small win. It's just another stepping stone to keep building this community. Like I told you guys, I really want to do. I really just want to make a very, fun and healthy film loving community with this podcast, which is exactly why I wanted to start this. So I appreciate every new subscriber that I get. Go back and listen to some of my other episodes and, watch my growth. But I'm glad that you guys have started this journey with me, because this is a journey. I don't plan on stopping this anytime soon. I really enjoy talking movies with you guys, and I'm really just appreciative of anybody that returns and subscribes to just watch more of the content and just get engaged as well. Like I said, movies seem to be coming back like quick, fast, and like heavy. Like I've never seen this many people be excited for movies. I don't think ever, to be completely honest, even before the pandemic was here. So I just appreciate you guys, sticking it out with me and just coming to talk movies. But anyway, that's my show for today. And until next time, peace.